starting with Duca's banana, sponge soaked in coffee kombucha and macadamia ice cream. I have a sponge here that I made before and coffee kombucha. We'll just soak that in there like so, and we'll set it away. We get these really nice bananas from Palisa Anderson in Byron Bay. They're called Duca's bananas. Very sweet and a very interesting texture. We roast these very hard until they're black. Then we'll make a puree out of it. So I'll just put the puree in a bowl. And then we have Flora cream. And we'll just mix those together. And we have a nice mousse. So to plate the dish, we have our sponge soaked in the coffee kombucha. We have our mousse in a piping bag. And then we have a crisp that we made out of sesame seed, yeah? So we'll put it on top like so. Nice little quenelle, macadamia ice cream. Touch of sea salt to finish. Voila. I was thinking how we could make a tiramisu-like dish in a plant-based restaurant. There's this really good black sesame puree available to us from Japan, that maybe instead of coffee we could use matcha because it also has that bitterness. Now we are basically properly in trend food with black sesame and matcha, but I tried to make it and we just didn't like it. We serve a coffee kombucha in the bar for a non-alcoholic espresso martini. So I thought maybe I can use that. Palisa Anderson, she got Duca's bananas back in season. These bananas are phenomenal. They have a nice acidity as well as sweetness. They have a very good texture. We like to use it if it's around. Coffee, banana, macadamia, and then the sesame came back as a crisp for the texture of the dish. The next dish we're going to do, celeriac ice cream, chocolate and salted caramel. On the plate, we'll just get the chocolate ganache. It's been a little while since I did this. So that's there. Then we fill it in with our salted caramel. Then we have some chocolate that we've tempered into a disc. A bit of crumb, celeriac ice cream, voila. This really came out of wanting to do something with a vegetable on the dessert. So celeriac just came to mind. Since then we've also done a corn dessert and we're now actually working with a farmer to get the sweetest possible carrots we can grow, so we can make a carrot dessert in the future. We decided to make an ice cream with the celeriac. We roast the celeriac and infuse it into soy milk. Then we make a puree with celeriac that we cook in soy milk and vanilla. We put it together, put some sugar, a little bit of pectin and set that so we have an ice cream. Then we temper the chocolate into a disc and then we make a ganache that we whip a little bit of cream in to make it a little bit lighter. Like that was a little bit too simplistic, so we just needed a little bit of a flavor to bring it all together, and that was the salted caramel. Next one is just a little pre-dessert. Our sous chef wanted to do something with amazake. So he made a sorbet and it was just a little bit plain, which then we settled on apple amazake sorbet. We have a farmer, Block 11, Breck and Michelle, brother and sister, and they got this crimson snow apple. It's a red apple, but there's a fair amount of acidity in there. We roast them, make a puree out of it. We also grew a different type of kochi that creates citric acid as it grows. And now we are going to use that sorbet to garnish micro-season fruits with. In this case, I made a mousse of the apples and like quite a loose gel of the orange blossom, which is made with ayota. We'll just put a little bit of that on the bottom of the dish, like an apple puree and a mousse that goes in. It's over. And here we have the sorbet. One of our employees worked in a community garden and he had borage flowers growing there, so he brought some in to garnish the dish with. So we decided just to put it on here. Makes it quite pretty. There we go. A little palate cleanser.